Hello and welcome back to Healthy Spouse, Healthy House. My name is Tony, and my channel focuses on health, wellness, and relationships. I believe that there are 15 different areas of health that any one person can work on at any point in time in their lives. So each week, I ask you to join me as I introduce one of those 15 different areas of health, and then I'll define that area of health. And then we'll talk about and discuss that area of health. We'll talk about some unhealthy habits in that area and some healthy habits in that area. And also, lastly, we'll then make plans and goals in those areas so that we can become healthier. Now, this week's area of health is mental health and emotional health. You get a twofer this week, y'all. You get a twofer because you can't have one without the other. You can't have mental health, or you can't be mentally healthy without also being emotionally healthy. You can't be mentally unhealthy without being emotionally unhealthy. And I also found this to be true in my mental health journey, is that when I was mentally unhealthy, not thinking the right thoughts or whatever, I would emote that of what I was feeling and what I was thinking. I would emote it, and I would do it often. Um, and when I was emotionally unhealthy, like the thoughts that I would have when there was an experience that I would then have an emotion that would cause me to think certain things. So they do go hand in hand with each other. So that was one thing that I found to be true on my journey, was that yes, that's what happens. Can't have one without the other. They work in cahoots. There's an immediate effect between the two of them, an immediate reaction, an immediate chain reaction. So anyway, another thing that I found to be true on my journey is that mental health, wellness, and issues is such a taboo subject in the Black community. Now, it may be in other communities too, but definitely in the Black community. There's such a stigma around mental health and mental issues and illnesses and disorders and things like that. But unfortunately, when you have that type of stuff going on, it causes people to suffer in silence. They don't really talk about what it is that they're going through, what they're feeling or whatever. It causes them to suffer in silence, and some people even suffer out loud. They have these outbursts and different things like that. They don't seem like they're like they have a handle on things and stuff. And it when people feel like they don't have a handle, or don't have I, just they're stressed out and different things like that, then a lot of times they begin to develop bad habits, and then sometimes they even result to using controlled substances to help them cope, which causes another, just like a chain reaction of other bad things just happening, right? That's what it causes. And because they want to self-medicate then. So one of my goals is to help normalize mental health help and awareness in my community, definitely, specifically in my community, so that we can be more open to talking about these things and these issues. And, one of the reasons, or actually a few reasons, why I believe that that mental health and wellness is taboo in our community is because there's a lack of information. There's a lack of understanding even of the information. There's a lack of resources as far as mental health help and awareness. And also, a lot of mental issues get labeled as something else. And don't get me wrong here, we know that people can go through experiences, and that could cause a mental issue, or you can have a physical ailment that can cause a mental issue going on with you. Treat those things, yes, but also treat the mental issue is what I want, I want to get across. Treat that mental issue also. So, moving right along, let's define what mental health is. So, mental health is the behaviors and functions of your mind and your brain. It's also how we process information. It's how we store information, is our cognitive thinking patterns. It includes like our emotional, psychological, and our social well-being. It's how we think, feel, and act. It's also how, or what helps determine how we handle stress, how we relate to others, and how we make choices. And let's define what emotional health is. Emotional health is how we express those feelings and those emotions once they go through the whole mental process, right? Mental health is such a broad subject. There are so many different avenues and aspects of mental health, and emotional health. But for me, my journey began with an anxiety attack. And I had this anxiety attack at work. So at this point in time where I had this anxiety attack at work, there were just a whole bunch of things that were going on with me in both my personal and professional life. There were just a whole bunch of things going on. And remember, I had just given birth a few months before to my third child. And so anyway, what had happened was I was pumping milk and I had this headache. And then all of a sudden, my heart started to beat very fast. And I started to lose breath. And I was trying to figure out what was going on with me. And I remember letting someone know something is wrong with me. I think I'm having a heart attack. I don't know what it is. And reaching out to someone for help. And then they called they called 911. The ambulance came. And I got in the ambulance, and the EMT, they took my vitals, and he also took one look at me, and he was like, I think I know what this is. So he started to take me, he started to help me with breathing, with my breathing. And he started to say things to me. He said, I think I know what this is. My wife had an anxiety attack, or has anxiety attacks, and so he began to help me through whatever it is I was going through. So after a couple minutes, everything was fine, and my heart rate had gone down, everything. He talked with me, and he said to me, okay, I think you're fine, but if you want to go to the hospital, I'll take you. And I said, please take me. Because first of all, I was ashamed. I was like, I'm not going back in there, So anyway, he took me to the emergency room, and I saw the doctor, and she gave me, looked me over, and then she told me, okay, this is what I need you to do. I'm going to give you some time off from work, and then I'm going to suggest that you go see someone and go talk to a mental health professional, follow up with your primary care physician, and then you guys get that situated. And so that was what started that journey with me talking to a therapist, a mental health professional. So one of the things that I wanted to let you know is that when you are emotionally healthy, you are in control of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. When you are mentally healthy, you are productive. You make decisions. You play active roles in your community. You know how to cope with life and its stresses. You can work productively and fruitfully. You have the ability to learn, to feel, and express a range of positive and negative emotions. Not saying that you won't see, and that's the thing. When you become emotionally and mentally healthy, you still will feel those negative emotions. It's how you cope with them. It's also when you're mentally healthy, you know how, or you have the ability to maintain good relationships and to cope and manage stress. Now, some mental health issues can be curbed by a change of habit or a change of your thought patterns, and some can be curbed by some kind of treatment that includes medication and even supervision. And let me end this video by giving you some ways to stay mentally healthy, staying connected with others, having a great support system, speaking positive affirmations over yourself, rest, knowing your triggers, having healthy boundaries, expressing feelings in appropriate ways, thinking before you act, helping others, and learning coping skills. Now, please join me as I give you an emotional health and mental health story time. All right, see you then. Bye.